opportunity to qualify to Paris. So a lot on the line for that team after not winning a playoff game since 2023.
It's been a long time coming for NRG. Always a ton of hope for them coming in at pre-seasons with roster moves and everything coming into this moment. Map number 1 in this series. To move on to the upper final, we'll start on Corrode. It'll start with mirror waylays. Both Jogamo and Mata have been looking fantastic in their recent showings.
That they have. Mata especially been racking up the aces in every game has been playing. A standout rookie player there, but Jaw with an excellent performance yesterday, and the brawl starts early.
8 players in A main, Mata and Jogamo, just on other sides of this corner.
Back in a flash.
And here it comes. Jaw ready for the spin around the side. It'll be 2 for G2, striking first on Corrode.
But G2 pull things back. They're happy with their advantage. They've worked Baby Bay towards the bottom of mid.
And it's been these pistol rounds for G2 so successful. 75% of pistols they've won in stage 2.
Nice stink for Scuba. Gets info that G2 is reset into bottom mid, but he doesn't know anything more than that for now.
Yeah, the rest of NRG grouping up, ready to respond. Keep your eyes on Baby Bay, who's low, waiting for that late mid play, while the rest of G2 make plenty of noise into B.
They can get out onto site, a great anchor smoke as well.
Scuba still here, playing on the other side of Hut as Jogamo sweeps around the left-hand side. That'll be a kill for him. And the rest of G2 enter the fray, 4-on-1. Brock's odds not looking so strong here with the Sheriff and 70 HP. To his credit.
G2 already have a great crossfire here.
Yeah, well, no one really there to swing off of Trent. The Sage Wall may be getting in the way of things. And yet it really narrows the path Brock would have to go in to actually make it through into the site. So the IGL takes 3 kills in this pistol to keep G2 sitting strong on those rounds.
Another pistol added to the tally. They are continuing to build that percentage of rounds they're winning. And I think it means so much for a G2 that when I'm thinking about them this stage, I feel like when I'm the most impressed with them is when they're playing on their defensive sides, how good their defensive rotates are, their protocols on the retake. I don't think they're always like a perfect attack side team that is going to completely snowball on that half. But because they win so many pistol rounds, they get that snowball rolling so early, so often. Most of the time they're up big at the beginning of games.
Now Mimi, I'm just interested in the comps in general. I can't remember the last time I've ever seen Waylay versus Waylay. Right now NRG just fighting down into mid. You can see some of the speed you can work with on rounds such as these. Although G2 kind of just mowing down the members of NRG. Jogamo doing some distraction on the Waylay as the rest of the team comes in. How do you think a comp really as unique as NRG's is going to operate here up against G2?
I think what's cool about the Waylay is that on attack side of Corrode, it's the map in the pool that probably has the most angles that attackers have to clear. There's a lot of different boxes to tuck in on sites. Defenders love playing the kind of rolling retreat on this map where they have almost 3 different places where they can be holding. And Waylay helps solve a little bit of that by being able to dash in, get full info, and then draw back to get that first set of space. And then save a lot of your actual initiator utility to go for the latter stages of the hit. And on top of that, she also has that that C ability, which is basically another piece of initiator util as well to help in those faster executes on attack.
Yeah, it gives you extra tools to play with there. Ethan can support with flashes. Got a lot, of course, to slow him down on the saturate.
And you look at the defense and you get ideas around mid-round aggression, walking up if you're placing that refract to dash back away.
But does come with the cost in this comp of not actually having the heavy stall towards the B site. No Vise in there for NRG, so Jogamo's already into the middle of it all. And these stingers at close range can operate nicely in a lot of these tighter angles. Right now NRG taking their time.
Yeah, full retake setup for NRG. They've walked a couple players down mid, but they're going to group and approach this one from 2 avenues, but with a ton of good initiator util.
G2 want to fight on through. Trent has some util in hand and ready. Teleport behind just to distract Scuba. And 1-for-1 all he's going to get. Now on the flank. Baby Bay holding it down, but Mata is there. And NRG continue their advance. The Odin up from heaven, and Looked like maybe G2 could get a little bit funky with it. Jogamo has given his team a chance, but 2 will survive on the round for NRG, and they'll take their first.
Those are the kind of protocols you're looking to see on a Corrode retake. You're trying to set up multiple avenues of approach to put pressure on the attackers, and G2, feeling that squeeze, decided to go for the fight into CT, which they weren't quite able to trade favorably out of. So it's NRG that stops that kind of G2 snowball of winning the bonus rounds that we've seen a lot in G2's recent games.
There's that.
I think NRG also showing some flank looks is going to make G2 a little bit more mindful of what's going down in the mid-rounds.
And despite not using a ton of utility, Mata very early was walking into mid, maintained that space all round, so NRG had very fast rotations.
Well, Jogamo, ultimate online. Maybe looking to use that in the tighter choke point towards elbow of the A site. The ability not so wide, but there's certain areas of the map where it can absolutely carve a team apart. Here, just jumping over the paranoia and scaling into the site, and now lights up towards elbow. Sam gets the first kill and dodges on back, but that slowdown is brutal. Mata there good to hold his teammates out. And now G2 have been stunted towards elbow.
They're stalled out here without great opportunities to pivot back. Look at how deep Ethan has walked up into mid as a contain.
There's no way out for G2. They have to own this site, but with 3 players towards spawn, that'll be no easy task.
NRG are very disciplined here. They're just holding together. They know G2 have to make the move.
The G2 are really starting to take their time. Ethan continuing to creep into mid, now joined up by Scuba, so Trent has to turn around and watch G2's back. A main, a gap, a link, a question for G2. And the more NRG continue to deny information, the more anxious G2 will be of all these separate angles. First start broken, now wall to go down. Jonah P can't get the first kill, and that could be critical for G2. Baby Bay holds the line. And as NRG move in, it is just Jonah stuck behind this smoke without any real chance of playing into the round. NRG tie things up.
NRG waits so long to go for any movement on that retake. Just sitting for 15 seconds in CT while their players in mid cleared everything out. And in doing so, G2 started to try and posture into these slightly forward positions, try and find a fight. That ended up not totally going their way.
And they're just seeing that fight getting in front of the Waylay ultimate.
And that's a downside of the Waylay ult versus something like Breach. It slows you down, but if you hit your one tap, you're still accurate.
Yeah, and Sam can get that kill, teleport away. Always a guy that's confident to take those aggressive lines.
As Waylay on this map, very often you are alone and you either get your kill or it goes very wrong.
Well, this time maybe going a bit more wrong than right. Did get a shot with the Outlaw, but Jaw on 150 HP is only taken down to 10.
Util cycle going up. And a quick dash in for Jaw.
Yeah, a little double dash there, 10 HP, but manages to survive. There's a little spam there going in from top mid.
All that pressure had pulled Ethan deeper into mid. He wanted to fast rotate.
But check out B main. Scuba on the walk up. Trent holding for it. Already got the opener, but that is not the timing you want to see. Knife comes out. Scuba gets his.
And that's a spike. G2 are going to have to take time. As in main, they deal with Jojimo, and NRG are starting to close the walls in again.
Yeah, we've seen this. Even back to the pistol, NRG taking a lot of liberties in space. Here, both mains they've just full contacted into and punished G2 with.
Maybe they has a lurk, but he's going to be walking into 2 players here.
And again, the guns are not favoring G2 in the slightest. Sometimes you can get punished making these moves that NRG did for just contacting up into a team, especially on an eco round. But I think just a good read from NRG. We've seen previous matches of G2s where they do a lot of regrouping into each other in the mid-rounds. These mains can sometimes be light.
Lovely 4K for Scuba. He had a really great end of the season. I think a slower start for him and NRG as a whole, but towards those last couple of games, I think especially in their match against Crew, Scuba was truly lights out. Finding his form as that mid-season addition, that rookie who joined this roster, alongside them bringing back Coach Bonkar.
Certainly been a glow up for NRG in this stage.
Oh, you're looking nice, Scoo. You're looking nice, bro.
Vibes in the camp sounding good as well to start things off with a slight edge for them. Mata has now purchased the operator.
Again, NRG early get a lot of space into mid. But G2, they're just holding out B main. They want to now look back and figure out what's going on with that Viper's pit.
Yeah, forward pit from Scuba. It's a lot of threat into G2 because there could be multiple players inside of that ready to pop out behind a KO flash. NRG have given really no information over.
Mata has an off.
Yeah, posted up on the line, but these Prowlers do such a good job dealing with ops on closer angles, especially into main. So by scouting that out, now G2 realize they want to avoid that area. That spike is headed back over to B.
So all signs are pointing towards a hard B hit to come in the late round. There's 2 players here for NRG, and they're posturing up, at least for Ethan.
Yeah, Util just recycled. Ethan has a knife up, but could choose to scout that instead of taking the actual line. Now the knife fault come on in. Som trying to buy some distraction, pull some crosshairs towards him, and it's good for the first kill. Som still boxed into the corner. He has Util on the choke point. I don't think G2 are really going anywhere.
It relies on Baby finding something in mid.
These mid-round rotates have become a signature of G2 as of late. You can already see NRG starting to rotate over 3 players into the A site. We're down to 25 seconds on the clock.
They're not going A. They want to go back B through mid. No,
I don't think so.
They can go either way.
Just leaving Baby on the angle now. 3-on-3 on the A site. It is about to be a brawl with 15 seconds left. The lights come on from Mata. 10 seconds, and Brock with the Odin charges into his demise. It is all NRG on this site. Baby completely off sides. And in a battle of time, it's all NRG.
This is exactly how you deal with a team like G2 that is always trying to make these late round pivots. You have to stay proactive in contesting space in mid. And the timings that Scuba chose to play in that area were really good, getting that pit down early into the rounds. And as the pressure came in, backing away, playing a bit safer, but still having full contain on that space and keeping that info high to have that fast rotate back to the other side.
I think even if you're just looking at the last 2 rounds, it's very clear that NRG are understanding how G2 like to play on a macro level.
I'm actually too nice, bro.
Getting the reads.
It's gonna be hard. Don't stress about it, okay?
So NRG win 4 in a row. That's going to prime G2 to call a timeout after they didn't even have to call one in their last series.
Exactly. So now Josh RT has a chance to reset this half, round 6 to round 7, call a timeout. How did G2 move from here?
I'm looking at simple stuff. Put a bit more of an emphasis onto mid. I think you have to help Baby get deeper into that space, because right now NRG is having very quick rotations into the late round that are a step ahead in figuring out G2's pivot.
Yeah, that started with the pit dominating a lot of control down bot mid in the last round.
Your other problem, though, is this op that Mata bought in 2 rounds ago. He doesn't get that initial shot. He was pushed off his line, but found impact at the end. So that's your other consideration if you're contacting around the map. You have to make sure you're not getting punished by that operator. Here, of course, it's just an eco for G2, so that conversation likely looking a bit further in time.
And yet it is those G2 stingers.
The Baby hero rifle is in play, Christy.
Yeah, carried that over from the last round as the sole survivor for G2. And it'll be Som taking first contact. He was successful earlier in this half, holding down into elbow, this time perched on the higher line.
Smoked off.
Yeah, Trent just waiting for all these Prowlers to try and disrupt an op if it was going to be there. And the rest of G2 filter in behind Jogmo, ignoring elbow entirely, and instead playing towards yard, but there's still this Odin that has to be dealt with. This wall is going to be like Baker, but Brock down to so little HP, and now the utility to come online on top of the spam is already 2 kills for NRG. Good luck planting the spike. I don't think that's going to happen.
No gimmicks allowed. You are not permitted to simply wall up and get the plant against NRG.
Can't use your utility either.
Yeah, taken away. They'll recover a gun. Maybe try and make a rotation back towards B and at least get a spike down here.
Except Mata, with the operator, is snuck up into top mid.
This is a gross angle, too.
I would say less than 1% chance that G2 can turn around and deal with this player.
They're hard clearing it.
Okay.
Not quite.
Crazy, though. Trent is actually aware of that a little bit. And yeah, the less than 1% chance is looking accurate. A 2-piece for Mata. And a clean anti-eco there for NRG.
NRG's defensive sides have looked great throughout the group stage. I've been very impressed with how they're calling these rotates. I think Ethan, especially when he's playing roles like the KO, does a great job of off of like 1 second round of his initiator utility, getting that information and figuring out exactly where he needs to rotate his players. I think that's where NRG have looked their best.
And I think they've also just stayed super flexible in how they're responding in these mid rounds too. You know, early on they were testing a lot.
Me back off. I'm too nice at back off.
You know, they're pushing the extremities, punishing the lack of an info senti from G2.
Already in though. Gonna farm some utility. Slows go both ways.
Hunter's Fury out from Brock though. One connection it looks like, and Mata dashes back into sight.
It was a cute idea off the orb tap. Throw that slow, hope that you catch someone and kill him with the Sovol. Didn't work out though.
But now a reposition into mid from Mata. He actually won't be able to assist in the fight. Scuba just to stall things out, the snake bite into link. And Som coming in. NRG will regroup 3 players into back of sight.
Great paranoia, that'll stall things for a moment.
G2 are just brute forcing their way in here, and it's not working at all. 3 for Som. Just a little bit too much. And now Mata going all the way from B main to A elbow. Snipes away Baby May, who's trying to slowly work his way in, regroup with Jonah.
Not the 360!
Crazy.
Okay, show me that one again.
Was that actually a 360?
I saw a spin. We're gonna need to fact check it, but I'm pretty sure.
This would be some crazy propaganda out of you if it wasn't real.
There was some flourish. All right, let's see it.
First goal from Mata was pretty easy. Mimi, I think you might be a propagandist.
I swear I saw the gun. If I'm making it up, it's just because I'm really trying to sell the stocks of the rookie.
Good shots either way out of Mata. Him and Som both sitting at 9 kills apiece.
Lying a little bit is fun.
Lying on the internet. No one's ever been punished for that before.
No. G2 back to the Stingers this round. NRG again. They found great information with these forward contests into mid.
And it's important too, because it's a G2 classic fake hit onto the A side. They like to send in Jogamo to his death oftentimes. Well, the QB sneak of 3 players slips towards B.
Waylay as he fakes it completely, gets out, and now they have a free B site.
Yeah, but again, Scuba just turns around. Good awareness from him. They'll allow the spike plant to go down. It doesn't really look like there's the best ultimates to play with. Baby will get the pit.
Yeah, and he's going to use it too.
Walk down into mid. Jogamo is just playing the late contain, and he could be absolutely vital. 1 kill for him, and now 3 members of NRG turn around to deal with him.
He's ripping this on Ethan.
This is a little bit bizarre. A lot to be spent there, and it doesn't even look like Valen could play with that from main, so Valen tucks into the corner. Som to first clear, but will fall to that. Valen is there as well. Hold on, G2 Stingers are absolutely in play. And now Brock has to face first into the pit. That won't work. A disaster of the round for NRG. Scuba to try and hold things in. 2-on-1, but they're all around him. G2 have gotten away with murder.
The G2 eco round fake. How often do you see that one? NRG fully bites. Part of the beauty of them having mid-control every round has been these fast rotates, getting ahead of G2. They try and head it off again. I think even using the double dash on the Waylay to get into position, but it was all a perfect fake.
Thing that alarms me somewhat from NRG's side is that yesterday we saw G2 run that exact same play on Sunset, and Jogamo be that late mid-contain. Get a backstab against 100 Thieves. Here it's that same look, and those players, while they walk down, didn't actually deal with him.
So now we get our look at the slower round for G2, where they're actually going to deal with the problem of mid. Mata's here with his operator. With quite a lot of smokes, he'd have to take a big risk if he wants to fight.
This guy's crazy if he wants to peek through that smoke.
Would have a flash from top mid, a drone, but he doesn't want to throw this gun away.
A main is interesting as well. Baby Bay and Som on opposite ends of this smoke. Som looks to refresh that one as Jonah enters the fray. And now an ultimate over to the B side. A bit of a fake again for G2. They're running the same fake effectively. Except this time Som is stuck here in main. Only the 1-for-1.
But that's a Sage that dies, no res.
And now into elbow. Brock is here. It's just scattered from G2. They're trying maybe a bit too much. Running back-to-back looks of a similar idea. And 40 seconds left on the clock. NRG have swarmed the map, pushed through B main, locked down A-Link. Brock the only one really under any amount of threat.
It's a one-man army, no help in sight.
He's been good here so far, betrayed by his gun, but saved by his teammate.
Yeah, waits just long enough to get that help from Mata.
And now the rest of NRG can continue on forward. That spike out in the middle of nowhere. Baby Bay's been in this spot a couple of times, but he's just the last guy up from G2. with no real hope of playing the round. That'll be 4 surviving from NRG.
That goes so well for NRG. Getting a player into the off-angle A main, playing up ahead of their smokes. NRG do a really good job on this map of just being a nuisance around every piece of their smoke utility. They're oftentimes re-smoking into their respective mains, walking someone into a weird position, constantly pressuring G2 and forcing them to use so much util to just re-clear the early parts of a site, which means the actual site hits are much weaker and players can rotate in time.
This is the rare double timeout from G2. Both times out in the first half of their attack side of this map. Josh didn't use a single timeout yesterday.
It's funny,
early on.
The last game that felt like this for G2, I actually think was the first match of this stage when they played Corrode against Sen. There was a similar thing, a kind of a struggle on the attack side, trying to figure out exactly what they needed to change.
What it seems like to me is G2, in running these fakes, that usually comes off of a read of, oh, NRG are really quick to start rotating on the map. You know, that could have even been communicated in the last time out, so maybe needing to course correct a bit for G2 as NRG are absolutely not over-rotating. I think their macro has been very strong up against the misinformation G2 sending them.
Yeah, only bought on that one fake in the eco round, and that's been the only sign of good for G2 in quite some time. This one, money's going to be quite bad. A chance to show a faster round. Jonah, who I think has been holding on to this resurrection the entire game, not finding a opportunity to get impact with that one. Try and sacrifice someone up mid. If you trade out favorably, you get guns, you can res. Something like that.
This half starting to run away from G2. NRG look to halt G2 a bit, but already committing the double dash from Jogmo means they have to give up link control.
In previous rounds, they'd send a play like this and quickly snap the other side as a fake. Here, G2 gets the space and holds on it for a moment.
G2 ready to pop onto Scuba.
They have to wait out this wall cycle.
But that's the only real utility over here. There's already been a snake bite burnt. So as a Haunt comes in, and some utility to push him back, and now NRG have moved 2 players into the site. It would be dangerous to continue forward, but this pinch in from top mid, Valen dealt with. Jogmo a little bit late on the approach as well, but now his ultimates come into the fore. G2 try to make some kind of headway into the site. It's all for naught, as Trent eventually falls down. 2 kills for Salmon and 8th for NRG.
NRG have a great understanding of what space to give up at what times in the round. They feel that pressure in mid, and the mid players very quickly condense into the site. Mata does so well to pick the timing to clear the player into mid who was walking up there. And once he gets that kill, it's so much easier to isolate these players in main. That's what I'm talking about, the kill onto Valen, and completely funnel them through that Viper util.
On the wall. Bro, I'm doing surf on the wall. I was surfing on the Sage wall.
So now last round of the half, and this has to be what G2 was discussing in that timeout.
B main, Scuba stepped all the way up behind his
A wall
wall.
boost in mid.
This is wild. NRG are getting so active with it. Forces Jogamo to double dash backwards. This wall boost with 2 players on top of it. I believe was spotted by the jump peak, and now the off clears it. Valen is down. That's 1/2 your smokes out of the equation for G2.
Jonah's got the off. He wants this res in mid, and he'll take his opportunity to do so.
Let's see. Op shot doesn't connect. Valen survives. And at the same time, Som fell back into main. Brock getting dinked there by Baby Bay. It's taking him down to 20 HP.
It's another fake for G2. Pressure B, they're ending A.
G2 love one thing, and it's disgusting. Fakes on fakes. Except this time they've actually managed the kill over on A. And Mata drops as well. Valen just leading by example.
Back from the dead, so much impact from him.
A zombie for G2, and he's lethal with it. With Brock dying on the A site, that will be spike planted for G2.
30 seconds left.
A Trent on a very late backstab.
Oh, and he hears 2 sets of footsteps. So he takes his time. This allows G2 to look back into Link. Ethan waiting for him. Ethan still waiting for him. He's there. 2-on-2 now as the pit for Scuba slips him into the site. Right on the other side, and it's cornered shoulder to shoulder. Scuba couldn't feel him. And now Ethan low. Players on both angles can't make a breakthrough. Baby Bay tries to equalize here in the final hour. of this first half, but it's NRG leading 8-4.
Now the question of this game becomes, were the late round ideas for G2 enough? Getting that fake call on their eco, calling another fake here that could have gone wrong in a similar way. But the difference is Som trying to make that play forward, gets caught out, and G2 actually get into the site without losing anybody.
Yeah, the previous fake there, Som had gotten the kill, had shut it down completely. This time it changes. There's so much more Valorant left to be played on the other side of this break.
Game changers.
We're making history.
It means so much to us.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are, but as long as I'm good enough, I can go as far as I want.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
Red Bull gives you wings.
A great start to the series for NRG, but now as we move over to G2's defense, I want to ask you, Mimi, what are we expecting out of Jonah on the stage? Because it was so strong for them in yesterday's series.
Yeah, they cooked 100 Thieves with this pick, and the greatest thing about that was when 100 Thieves was going for fast hits, having that slow orb to throw down, these late round walls, that totally ruined the Neon Yoru comp there. But the difference is that NRG have a Waylay, so they actually have a lot of opportunities to dive on that stage, throw down a slow, a flash, something like that. So a lot of this half comes down to ruining Jonah's life.
And just overwhelming the site in its entirety. We got some nice music here to guide NRG into the B-bomb site. And G2 aren't home. Not here to enjoy the disco just yet with a little fight up into elbow. That's going to be Babybay with the first kill, and Som takes down 2 for NRG. G2 slow to continue into the site. Things are getting very serious for them now as NRG roast them back towards their spawn. Jonah P. Sage, a highlight to lead the half now in a 1-on-4 with nowhere left to go. Nice right click from him, but it's 3 on the round for Som.
NRG just ruined them there, showing the pace that you can play with this almost double dive composition, the TP in with the Waylay fighting forward. And it wasn't just taking that side, it was making the instant decision from pre-round that they were going to fight into CT and take that space in elbow. And that is the fight that goes so well. G2, I think, wasn't fully prepared how quickly and how many players were going to be here for NRG.
And how could they be prepared, right?
Together, boys. Win this round and let's send them home, bro.
Oh my god, man.
How are you going to be prepared when you're getting chilled out by the lo-fi hip-hop beats? G2 with a false sense of security. NRG choosing to group up for the most part. It'll be Scuba playing with that solo sheriff into main while the rest of the team keeps things locked in here on the anti-eco. Gonna face together and work through Link.
Since Blanca rejoined the team, NRG, I've noticed him loved having these set retake rounds, or sorry, I should say the set execute rounds. Find the site they like, they're so willing to send it, but that's a little silly.
What?
The
What?
Classics have 2 kills.
The G2 Classics aren't also supposed to be a thing. They've already got Sheriffs, they've got Stingers, so yeah, okay, NRG, let's tighten things up. Let's knock these guys down. Scuba was trying to make it sound easy, like you just send them to the lower bracket, no problem, beat these Classics. We're actually putting some serious hurt onto G2. And Som is gonna steal the ace.
Goofy round. Looked like it was
Despicable.
gonna be clean for NRG, then it turns into an Ethan near ace that gets yoinked by some. He's laughing it off though.
Well, of course he's laughing it off. Can we see Ethan? I doubt he's laughing.
Just glaring at the monitor.
Someone's like, I gotta hit my 30. Your ace doesn't matter.
I think he's just happy to have 10 rounds.
I mean, NRG are crushing G2 right now.
Ethan round. Another Ethan.
He's happy.
Okay.
I think that's what that means.
The
at
verdict in, he's feeling just
We're
fine.
going quick again. It's an A-pop. NRG, they love the executes.
G2 huddling away into back sight.
Is Mata going?
I don't really know. Jogmo and Valen have actually abandoned this entirely, waiting for Trent to join them back towards spawn. That drone only going to see the single player. And G2 making quick work. Paranoia into the site. NRG retreating away from the site. So this utility means nothing. Now snap back from Jogmo. Leaves Mata a little bit too far forward, so he dodges backwards. More utility to be traded out, but he's still taking these lines. G2 have maybe gone a little bit too quick, and they've been slowed down for now. Jonah P places the wall, instantly broken. As they move on forward, now Baby Bay comes in from the back. 1 kill for him, make that 2. Here is G2 to take their round, but it's not without some casualties.
That is a better reaction from G2 though, in comparison to something like the pistol round where they completely rushed in to get space in elbow. There's 3 players holding together backside, waiting for NRG to swing into them. And once everyone is there and ready, that's when they're fighting up, using the Sage Ult, using all of their utility in a very coordinated way to not get carried away by the pace that NRG wants to play with.
NRG maybe get a bit caught out there, not having much pressure coming into elbow. So they couldn't actually pinch into the site as G2 tried to fight forward. It will be NRG buying up into the round. Outlaw in Ethan's hands, but only a couple of light armors on the other side.
Quick start to mid for NRG.
Jogmo got pinged up by the KO knife, so decides not to challenge the angle.
You see how far forward Valen has to play on this angle. This Viper wall pretty much only to threaten a lurk through in the late round.
Yeah, not so useful when it comes to holding on the A site, as a lot of other Viper walls will be. But in terms of demanding the attention of multiple players to defend the lurks like you're talking about, he's very
especially
effective.
with a no info sentinel comp.
Yeah, punishes what G2 are rocking. But now 2 players into top of mid. Mata will be dropped by Trent. And now where do NRG really go? They don't have players in B main, so they move back into the lurk. As previously mentioned, Scuba rejoins with the rest of the team.
G2 don't really want to fight this one too far forward.
I don't know.
Ult still stunning them out. Valen just sitting in this smoke.
Valen waiting for his opportunity here. Spike will be planted and now slips around the other side. Hearing the drone, that's 1 kill for the IGL. Make it 2. G2 already here. Into it all, now the paranoia. G2 demolish NRG on the retake, and it's all through the eyes of Valen.
And it's such a different round. In the previous retake on A, it was all about patience, taking their time to group up in spawn. In this one, it's Valen taking an opportunity in that attacking smoke. And the way that NRG wants to play their post plants is almost fully off-site. They want to get in quick with the waylay, get a plant, and play more so in courtyard than deep in the site. But you see that smoke to the right of Valen is getting those kills. It means that the gap between the attackers and the defenders is very small and gives that opportunity for Valen to make his play.
And you've got a guy like Ethan there who assumes that he's fully safe because there's a drone going into that smoke, but Valen just takes the perfect timing to sneak on through that. So NRG are going to be calling a timeout to react. So far, they've seen multiple looks at the A retake, and in both rounds, Baby Bay has been cutting through mid to get that lurk through Link.
So, 2 wolves for NRG. Do you want to keep slamming these executes and kind of reconsider how you're playing the post plant? Or do you want to show some of these slower rounds? I liked how they opened in that previous one, ripping up mid early, getting Mata set in a forward position there. I think that's good because G2's not generally a team that throws a lot of super early aggression in mid, and that's space that I think they can take in a lot of rounds.
Yeah, they can get in there early. I think the issue in the slower rounds, or at least like the rounds where they're looking to execute around a minute, is, well, Jonah P is going to be dropping the wall down in B main, and he placed it in the last round, and that's what allowed G2 to start shifting over and get over there to support Valen early on. That's something they're going to have to start considering, especially the timing of when that wall goes down.
This is kind of the story of their game against Corrode too. When you look at like their sunset, where they play a lot of 4-1. When they get into a site, can actually set up their post plant with these fast executes. It ends up going really well for them. But if that first idea gets stalled out, oftentimes they're left hoping for a bit more map control to pivot. Here's that mid open again.
Yeah, and the ultimate into back spawn out of Som.
He's sticking it.
He's going all the way through. Babybay has no idea this round really is on Som
Timing.
to break open an opportunity.
Som's not looking.
He's not looking the right direction! So Babybay gets that kill. NRG just now breaking down a Sage while they have to go back into mid and deal with the potential flank. But G2 have swarmed the map in its entirety.
And yeah, Jaw walking all the way out. They are encircled here for NRG. And they don't even have a path forward. Another slow, ready to go for Jonah.
NRG, we're on the stingers. We're hoping to just get a quick plant and play a post from the close angles. Now I have to actually fall away. We're running through spawn straight into Jogamo. If you run into mid, well, Babybay is going to be there too. So Ethan's going to accept a unfortunate plant and try and play things out here, even with G2 already swarming into the site. Nade goes down, Brock gets the first, but here is Valen and the rest of G2. And that gap, which at the half was so big, is now starting to close down and down and down.
G2 continue to show how good they are when they get to slow the game down, play their contain, and set up for the retake that they want to play. This timing in mid was really weird though. For some, you don't normally expect a team who's not playing, you know, someone like a Chamber who has a get out of jail, or even a Yoru, to play that hyper-committed angle.
You fool. You don't understand that Babybay is still playing Chamber, even on the Viper. He'll take all the off angles.
Yeah, just creating caster on co-streamer violence there.
You know, Babybay, I caught up with him last night. He was saying that he doesn't know if he'll be able to show his face if he beats NRG. He was doing the pod with them all year long. Really
It's a fast A-grip again, though.
Mod up into it. Babybay strikes first again. The mid lurk dealt with.
But it's like when you're losing your mid lurk, it's so hard to get anything done. G2 is just facing them and containing them for all of this round.
And now a Hunter's Fury sent out from Brock in main, not connecting onto anything. Every single shot threads the needle.
Look at the Sage wall. This is a perfect funnel. 4-player crossfire CT.
And look at the flank from Jogamo as well. He sprinted through B. He's now in A. And Brock with a reload. Short-lived. NRG, nowhere to go. They can't go back to main. They have to hold their ground on site. Trying to waste some time for Mata to go on the flank, but it's too little too late. G2 are still moving forward. Some would need multiple kills, and not even the one. Means that a spike not even remotely planted for Mata forces him into the operator. And again, it's around for G2.
Time for a pivot for NRG. They've been trying the same A-exec multiple rounds in a row. But the issue with the way that they're playing is they never actually take elbow control. They're on Jonas.
Oh my. That's like the third time in a row NRG have just been killed in mid. It was a Trent spam shot through mid 3 rounds ago. The round before it was Babybay seeing the gun and shooting the side. And then there it's spam.
Hey! What are we doing, Scuba Steve?
Yeah. Honestly, similar thoughts over here. If you lose your mid lurk, you run out of options. That's 4 A retakes pretty much chaining together.
Yeah, you hate it when your mid lurk is taken out by your podcast host. And now it'll actually be Mata challenged to
Jaw is
get
so
into
aggro
space
walking
early.
down B.
I mean, he's been unchallenged here so many times in a row. Finally, Mata's holding the line, and that'll shut it down. But NRG quickly playing off of that to zip over into A. Not seeing a player in elbow. Maybe heard a Sage wall go down. Jonah's been loving these deep Sage walls to A.
Late pit in B main should force NRG to change their mind about heading that way.
They are making plenty of noise. Valen hears it all. He can call exactly what he wants, and he wants assistance from Jonah P. Up in the smoke, top mid, lines him up! Valen! Eviscerates NRG. Claims ownership of the spike. NRG have nowhere to go.
Som alone in main, Scuba overwhelmed in mid. Trying to find some kind of pick, but there's too many players watching this angle, so much damage already taken.
It's tough. Scuba slicing his angles nicely there. Gets a headshot through the wall, but it's not a kill. Just barely misses against Jonah. Any of those go his way, maybe he has a chance, but it'll just be a save for Sam.
He's had a great map, but knows this one's impossible. So yet again, G2 just win out completely in getting a pick in mid. That round, it's not picking the lurk, but it's Valen getting so much information on that forward angle and finding the multi-kill himself.
And we know that G2 are always so good on their defensive sides, but I can't help but feel like this feels very similar to NRG versus Crew last week, where their defense absolutely lights out, but they couldn't win a round on attack.
And it was the same issue, right? They have a great read to start, ripping these 4 hits, having their lurk get a ton of space in mid, but then your lurk starts to get flushed. Your opponents start to figure out how to play the retake, and now we're searching for a plan B.
And the plan B is going to come around. A couple of hero guns on Sam and Mata. I will say, to NRG's credit, I genuinely think they have just gotten unfairly unlucky in mid. That last round they got owned by Valen, but there were 3 before that. Crazy spam.
They're just going to rip an ult here. Execute onto B, try and get a Viper spit in the post.
We'll see how much they want to spend to stop this from being just a tie for them. Mata blinded up into sight, taken down. Doesn't even have the chance to snap back. This is not going well for NRG. Finally, the supporting staff shows up. Okay, Scuba. Making a play out of this yet. And Trent knows he needs to go in. Jonah P's got an operator. Yes, he has a res, but Trent has to open this side up.
This timing is really fast, though. He's walking all the way around.
The main player isn't looking at him. But Brock has a high angle on site. Now the res to distract NRG. As Trent into the side, that's a kill for him. Brock couldn't see it either. A Nightfall too. So Ethan tries to hold things down for main. Still in a good position for him. Still the pit to distract, to delay G2. But with Ethan falling into main, without a pit for Scuba to play on, 12 bullets left in the chamber. Down to a classic, Jonah P sticking. Jonah P sticking all the way. Scuba, you have to get in there. And he misses the first shot, takes the second. It is down to the wire, but NRG win the round.
Just in the nick of time.
Ooh, that right click betraying him for a moment. Had a heady, but
that
not the double.
Shot, it could not have come any sooner. He lost that fight in mid for so many rounds. Now gets to be with the team on an execute. And what incredible impact he had.
I think Jonah's just Iron Man here, tanking. It wasn't even a miss. I think
just took 2 dinks.
Crazy.
Josh not too happy with that one. It's a thrifty round to switch this momentum up.
And it was just the Viper's pit spent.
G2 play passive in mid, pick up the operator on Jonah.
And this time, Valen doesn't get a lucky shot. So he'll have to come down to his marksmanship again. Blinded up, and he gets them again! Valen dominates the mid space. Always good for 2. And that spike is alone. Scuba has to charge forward by himself. So his teammates in main will open it up with the teleport in. Smoke for heaven, G2 playing numbers.
But this is a round we've seen before. G2 play back, they're up a man in a retake. How do NRG navigate their way out of this one? Sam on an off angle.
They have to stop them at the choke. It's all together for NRG. Sam and Brock, util out in hand, that could be everything. Jogma waiting for the utility to come on through, and Jonah from above. No blessing from Evan, it's G2 with the round.
How does Valen keep doing this? Round after round.
Crazy. He's full blinded there, by the way.
Yeah. We gotta see that one again. But for G2, every time they're seemingly getting these gifts. Paranoia up, barely sees the first, flicks over for the second. And the timing on the smoke fade as well is brutal. Jonah getting impacted that off in heaven.
Backside, nice! Ooh. Legs, you dancing on them, bro.
It was a good retake there for G2. And now trailing by just a single round, NRG will call their second time out of the half.
They don't have money though. And this is now looking like a tie game. G2 running it all the way through on defense. So what the NRG change up? All their success early on, winning the pistol, came off these hard executes. They've consistently managed to get into a post plant. The issue is every round they are losing either their lurker or players in transition into mid.
Yeah, so Mimi, NRG will give you a paycheck if you tell them how do they solve the mid problem. They've never been able to come up numbers out of mid.
Honestly, I wouldn't hate to see them run back to just like a faster exec off the rip of a round. I think
so ignore mid.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't exist. Not real can't hurt you.
Can't hurt. Oh,
I don't know how sustainable that is for every round, but I think especially as you start to get ults online, you can at least get to 12 off of that.
Well, maybe check your PayPal because NRG have 5 players headed into main. It will be Light from them, Scuba the sole rifle for the team.
3 players here for G2. A lot of this round just matters on who Mata can hit with the ult and if he can get an opener.
He's had that ult for the last 2 rounds, hasn't decided to use it just yet. And, well, Jaw is synonymous with the shorty. Tucked into elbow as Mata dives on into the site. Hasn't found anything just yet. Valen just playing on the other side of it. Now, that ulti unlocks. Valen tries to dodge away. Jogmo the first victim from NRG side. NRG are rolling over the site. What just happened?
I'm submitting my invoice. They're running it down, and now this is an AWP on the retake for G2.
It's time to collect. NRG pick up some guns. In a similar situation with the AWP here. It'll be the other player next to Jonah that has to get something done. Baby Bay to lead this retake effort. G2 already lost 1 eco round. Now they've lost a second. This would be a 12-10 game for G2 if not for these thrifties. And it's NRG that bring themselves to map point.
Excellent work out of them. Again, choosing not to use the ult off the rip, Mana instead using it to fight forward into CT. And that's a difference maker. In the past, they've only fought for the first part of this site. Here, they save enough util to have a strong fight for backside and kill the players who are staging to go into a retake.
Josh is not happy with that outcome. And NRG are just going to run it back once more. This time a different setup for G2. Jonah on this side of the map, and that is a ult just straight where he started from Som to create the threat. All of these G2 players are turning around to deal with spawn, and it's at that time that Mata sprints forward into the A site. The wall and yard already broken. NRG are here.
Good slow orb though, that gives G2 a bit of space.
They've got 3 players ready to get into the site. Bajogmo a mile away with the ultimate in hand.
It's going to be a 5-on-5 through CT for this game.
It will be a mess. Brock unlocks the Hunter's Fury with the spike plant, and NRG are fighting forward. Distraction and teleports all around the opposite sides. A 1-for-1 to start it off, and NRG are backing away. Som has been crushing all day long, and now he's right up into the thick of it. G2 are reloading guns while their teammates are going out and dying. They are stopped at the pass. And Som on the other side. It is now a 1-on-1. The Vipers, Baby Bay and Scuba. Baby Bay, to try and keep his team in it, hasn't stuck the spike. That's not enough time, my friend. It's way too late. He tries to get on, but it's just not going to be there. Drake can't do it. NRG take Corrode.
Off of a thrifty round and a late pivot back into the executes. They do it by a matter of seconds. And it's Scuba again coming up massive in these critical rounds.
In the clutches, dominant for NRG. NRG winning 2 of those thrifty rounds off of one of his Viper's pits, I believe. Then that last round there as well. It seems like that timeout came in at exactly the right moment. NRG just